Hi all, welcome to my channel Masters the Concept. In this video, we will understand how we should approach a DSA problem in an interview. So let's start. The first thing is read the problem statement carefully. This includes understanding the types of inputs, a range of inputs, and constraints. It is important to fully understand the problem before trying to solve it. Here, I have taken one example. Now, if we look at only this part of the statement, these two lines, that is, we have given an array that contains n integers and we need to find the product of the maximum product subarray. So, after reading only this part of the statement, we can't arrive at a correct solution because we don't know whether the array contains only negative values, only positive values, or if 0 can be an element of the array. Because if the array contains only positive values, only negative values, or both positive and negative values, then solution can vary. So now if we look at these two lines, we can understand that array elements will range from -100 to 100. So that's why it is important to read problem statement carefully, and if any example is given, then look at that example as well because it can help you understand the problem more effectively. After reading the problem, the next step is discuss your understanding of the problem with the interviewer and ask relevant questions about the problem. Here I have taken one example where we have given an array that contains n integers and we need to find the product of the maximum product subarray. This is the same example that I used in previous slide, but here I have removed some parts of the statement. So instead of assuming anything, we can ask these kind of questions for this problem statement to the interviewer. Like, what will be the type of inputs? Will the elements contain decimals or only whole numbers? What is the range of the array input? Will it contain negative values, positive values, only negative or positive values, or both? Can 0 be an element of the array? Now let's understand why is asking questions to the interviewer important. Because it allows the interviewer to see your critical thinking skills and capabilities to gather requirements effectively. The next step is think out loud about your approach. This means that whatever you are thinking about regarding the problem solution, speak out loud. Why? Because this allows the interviewer to understand your thought process and also ensures their involvement throughout the interview. Here, let me give you an example, then you will gain more clarity. Suppose we have given this statement where we have given an array and our task is to reverse the array. So instead of thinking about the solution in my mind, I will approach it as follows. We have given an array and task is to reverse the array. First, I can take a new array and I can start a for loop from the last index of the array to the 0th index, and then I can insert elements in the new array. So in this way, I can reverse the array. Otherwise, instead of using a new array, I can take two pointers as well, left pointer and right pointer, and I will run a while loop till left pointer will be less than the right pointer, and I will swap the elements at left pointer and right pointer. Then I will increase the left pointer and I will decrease the right pointer by 1. So like this way you can approach thinking about the solution. Means when you are thinking about the solution, speak it loud also so that interviewer can get to know means what you are thinking and how you are approaching a problem. When you are ready with your approach, then discuss your approach with the interviewer. Always start with the brute force solution. If interviewer is not satisfied from the brute force solution, he or she wants you to optimize it further, then you can discuss your optimized approach. After discussion of your approach, you can start your implementation, but always use meaningful variable and method names. Here I have taken two examples. So here if we look at this first example, here I am using array length. So it is clear that it is representing the length of the array. And when we iterate over loops, we use I and j. So instead of using I and j, use meaningful names. Here I use like left index, right index. So it is representing, okay, left index will be the left pointer of the array and the right index will be the right pointer of the array. Here again, like when I'm using this for loop, here also instead of using like I used index. So always use meaningful names. Now in next example, I moved this code to a separate method. And if you look at that, I use the name reverse array. When we are looking at these method names, so it is clear that the task of this method will be to reverse the array. And always use correct naming convention. If you look at this array length variable, the first alphabet of the second word is in uppercase, similar for left index, right index, and reverse array. So it is highly important to use meaningful variable and method names and use correct naming convention to show the interviewer that how much you can write a clean code. Now let's summarize this. So the first thing is read problem statement carefully, then discuss your understanding about the problem with interviewer, then ask problem related questions, then think out loud about your approach, then discuss your approach with the interviewer. Always start with the brute force solution, then implement code and use meaningful names and correct naming convention. So thanks.